South and in the capital, Accra, Ghana will host the 23rd edition of the International Conference on AIDS and Sexually Transmitted Infections in Africa, Icasa. The continental gathering, which brings together experts, government, civil society organizations, and global partners, will serve as a critical platform to renew commitments in the fight against HIV and AIDS. Now in Accra, the National Organizing Committee is meeting ahead of the event to finalize its preparedness, and the discussions are centered on logistics, participation, and Ghana's readiness to welcome thousands of delegates from across Africa and beyond. Icasa is regarded as the largest forum on HIV and health in Africa, and offering a space for scientists, policymakers, advocates, and communities to share knowledge and showcase innovations, strengthen partnerships in the response to the epidemic. Our correspondent Michael Diwono is joining us live for some updates from that all-important conference. Hello, Michael. If you can hear me, take it away.
Thank you so much for connecting with us, and a very good morning to you and to our viewers as well. Ghana is set to host the international conference on AIDS and STI, and this conference is slated from the 3rd of December to the 8th of December. I can tell you that preparations are really high and are on top and currently ongoing. Today, the National Organizing Committee are here meeting and engaging in a marathon meeting to make sure that they put together every dot on this particular preparation so that we have a very successful conference come December. Everyone that matter in this Icasa conference is here, and they are deliberating on the issues that must be considered critical going into this particular conference. We are joined by Mr. Luke, who will introduce himself and also tell us about the preparation and how far we are gone with this particular conference and what we should be expecting. Thank you so much, Mr. Luke. Kindly give us a full introduction of yourself and tell us how far we are with this particular conference when it comes to preparations.
Thank you so much. Let me take the opportunity to greet all Ghanaians, that are online and that are also following up on how we are preparing the international conference on HIV and STI in Africa. This is the 23rd edition of Icasa, and this year Icasa is being hosted in Ghana here in Accra Conference Center under the leadership of the President, His Excellency, the President John Mahama. Yeah, saying that, we do organize 3 meetings before we host Icasa. We organize the first meeting, the second meeting, and this is the last meeting, the third and last meeting that will help us to plan and to finalize the program. We are expecting here more than 5,000 delegates across 122 countries, and so far we receive more than 1,008 abstracts. Abstract is a scientific paper. We receive more than 1,008 abstracts. And you can see in the gathering, here we have more than 120 people coming from 16 countries across the continent. And the thematics of this conference this year is Africa in Action, catalyzing integrated sustainable responses to end AIDS, TB, and malaria. This is the thematic of this year. And we believe that this thematic is speaking to us the domestic financing and how to come to the end of HIV in our country, Ghana, and also in the continent globally.
Yeah, you mentioned one very important thing that has caught my interest. That has to do with domestic financing. How is the preparation ongoing, and especially when we are faced with external funding and external cut of funding for some of these HIV/AIDS? How is the preparation going for the 23rd Icasa conference slated in December?
Yeah, the preparation is going on well. You can see the program is almost done. We are here to finalize. The program is done to 80%, and before tomorrow, the program will be done at 100%. But in terms of domestic financing, we can say that the government of Ghana is seriously behind this conference. They are supporting the conference. They are providing the conference venue. They are providing the logistics. They are providing the security for all the participants, for all the 5,000 delegates that we are expecting, and they are also providing also the technical support. You can see that at the beginning of this meeting, we have Ghana Aid Commission Director General. He was here. We have also the National Aid Control Program. They were also here. And we hear from the Minister of Health. He's coming this evening, to address the gathering. Just to tell you that the government is fully involved. Now, in terms of domestic financing in Africa, it's true that donors are pulling out. But we have the means as Africans to put ourselves together, to brainstorm, and to use our common purposes. Like to say, we have a lot of resources in Africa. There are a lot of a possibility to learn from the best practice in Africa. And Icasa is giving that platform so that we learn from the best practice for other countries that are mobilizing resources domestically, so that Ghana also can learn from that and do better. But so far we have the Mahama Care is a way to mobilize domestic resources. But we believe that when we host this meeting, it will go beyond that. It will go beyond ending HIV/AIDS and knowing your status and know that HIV/AIDS is no longer a deadly disease.
Sure. In terms of sustainability and having funding that will be very sustainable to this fight against HIV and AIDS, what are the issues that we'll be looking at and will be considered during this particular conference?
Yeah, in terms of sustainability, I said, we have a lot of declarations from African Union. Okay. Before the donor cut their fund, African Union was talking about domestic financing for long. Okay. Since 2001, we were talking about Africa Declaration. We were talking Abuja Declaration. We were talking about AU strengthening the health system on TB, HIV, and malaria. Then it means that the declaration is there. However, it's time for us as Africans, as a society, to organize ourselves to ask for accountability. If you ask for accountability, we are sure that we have the resources within Africa to sustain the response of HIV and to strengthen our health system in the continent.
What will be the benefit of this particular conference to Ghana, bringing all these people here into the country? What do Ghana stand to gain, and especially when it comes to the fight against HIV and AIDS? What is the move forward?
You can see that, first of all, in terms of benefit, I will put it in various categories. The first category is the visibility of the country. You can see that when we are hosting Icasa, we have more than 120 countries that are coming to this country. That is the visibility of the country. And we have more than 5,000 to 8,000 delegates that are coming. You can imagine that visibility and the impact, the economic impact, because people will lodge in the hotel, they will pay visa fee, they will stay here for 5 days because Icasa is from the 3rd to 8th of December. That is the 2 point. The third point, you can see the knowledge sharing, because people are coming all over the world to share their best expertise in terms of how to deal with HIV, TB, malaria, and how to strengthen the health system. Then Ghana have a lot to learn. The scientists in Ghana are at the forefront, to share also their best experience with other scientists. The benefits are huge. I'm inviting all Ghanaians to attend Icasa. Know that Icasa is not only for paid people. We have what we call the community village at Icasa, which is free for everyone. You come there, you can learn your status, you can know what is HIV, TB, malaria, all these things for free. You don't need to pay anything. That is the community village is there. But the second point that is more important is that we should get ready to welcome our people from all over the world. Ghanaians should be ready to welcome more than 8,000 people, in December from 3rd to 8th of December 2025.
Thank you so much. So just as he said, so your name and your position.
My name is Luke Aman-Bodia.
Okay.
I'm the director of the International Conference on HIV and STI in Africa, okay. And I'm also the coordinator of Society for AIDS in Africa.
Okay. Let's get a conversation with the president of Icasa. You mentioned his name to us and also tell us how far we've gone with the preparation. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. You are live on GBC News.
Mm-hmm. Yes, my name is Dr. David Parire-Nyatwa from Zimbabwe. I'm the president of Icasa and also the president of Society for AIDS in Africa.
So far, Mr. Luke tells me that the preparations are ongoing very well. We are looking at domestic funding and also other issues. What is on the agenda when it comes to this particular conference that is slated from the 3rd of December to 8th of December, the Icasa conference?
It's a very important conference where this is a conference by Africans, for Africans, within Africa, led by Africans. And to us, we think that it's so critical that Africa comes in full force, not only to support this particular conference, but to participate and be able to sponsor it themselves. We should not be looking elsewhere outside Africa anymore. We should look inside Africa to see how we can leverage on ourselves to fight HIV, to fight TB, to fight malaria on our own. So this is one of the reasons that we are going to have this meeting here in Accra, and we believe it will be a very successful meeting. We've got support from government here, solid support from the Ghanaian government. We've got a lot of support from other African countries, and we are aware that certain presidents from within the Africa region are keen to come for this conference, which will be between the 3rd and 8th of December this year. So yeah, we look forward to it, and it has got very pertinent topics that deal with diseases in Africa and strengthening the health systems of the Africa region.
Yeah, talk about strengthening the health system. Currently, which areas of the health system do you think that we should pay more attention to as Africans? I know for this particular conference, we are looking at HIV, and not just that, but we are also looking at TB and other STIs as well.
Well, in terms of strengthening the health systems of Africa, we look at 5 main areas. The first one, we look at human resources for health, doctors, nurses, physiotherapists, etc. The second area is we look at medicines, drugs and medicines. How can we manufacture our own medicines within the region? The third area, we look at infrastructure, the health, in terms of hospitals, clinics, equipment in the hospitals, that's all part of infrastructure. And the third one, we look at communication. Do we have enough ambulances? Do we have transport? That sort of communication is very, very key, especially now with telemedicine. So it's very, very key. The last and most important one is to look at financing. Africa should commit itself to the health systems of its own region. And Abuja 2000 said that we should have 15% of the national GDP to go to health. But that has not happened. It has only happened in 2 African countries. So Africa should just wake up now and begin to sponsor its own health systems for its own citizens.
At the end of this particular marathon meeting, what are the key points that we want to come up with that will guide us for the Icasa conference?
The most important things that will come out is how are we, you see, Icasa is based on 3 main areas. The leadership. Is there enough leadership to steer us forward in terms of health? Number 2, the communities, the people who are affected and infected by HIV, their participation, they are the activists. They should be there. They should take leadership. The third area is science. We are going to base everything we do here within the Africa region on science. It should be evidence-based and be able to go back to science and see how we can propel, for an example, now that there's going to be an injectable drug to prevent HIV for 6 months. You get injected once, and 6 months you're prevented. Those sort of scientifically based evidences is what this conference is going to be all about.
Thank you so much, and we wish you all the best for your deliberation.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So we want to also have a few words with the Ghana AIDS Commission. I want to find out from the Director General how prepared they are to and ready for this particular conference, especially looking at the final and the marathon meeting he is also attending. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on GBC News.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, your listeners. And thank you very much for this opportunity.
Okay, would I be right to say you are the host institution, and how prepared are we for this particular Icasa conference 2025?
All right. Yes, we are the host country. Let me start from that perspective so that we get it right. We're the host country, and as the host country, the President of the Republic is the host for this conference. And of course, through the various sectors and ministries, we are hosting on behalf of the whole country. The Minister of Health is also a host for this conference. He's the Vice President for the conference. The Ghana AIDS Commission plays a very important role in the local secretariat, for which we organize everything that is important to the conference and the background activities. Yes, so in one way, we are part of the host for this conference. Yes, yes.
Yeah, and are we ready and prepared and everything going straight for? You are part of this particular marathon and final meeting, and how is the discussions going? And are we set to go come December?
Yes, preparedness is a process, so it's not a one-time event. So I would say that by virtue of the tracking of our activities, we are on track towards hosting the conference in December. Yes, so there are some nuances that we need to take care of, but we are on track to taking care of those nuances. In terms of the government commitment to the conference, in terms of funding, government has written and committed itself to the full funding and political commitment to this conference. Yes, yes.
That's really awesome to hear. Your final word.
Oh, my final word, please. This is a very important conference for Ghana, being hosting it for the first time. Completely important because of the fact that in this era where the funding to the HIV and AIDS, malaria, TB landscape is dwindling, it is more than important for us to sit as African countries to discuss how we are going to go forward with respect to this. What new things I will bring on board to make sure that our national responses, we take sovereign control of our national responses and not rely on external funding. It also gives us a way, how do we look at the current lines of intervention so that by 2030, the HIV/AIDS becomes a controlled disease and bring the epidemic to an end. So it's very important. We're calling on African leaders, African participants, because this is an African conference, to come a part of this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time, Doc. I'm grateful. Yeah, so as you can see, participants are sitting and they are ready to continue with this particular final and the marathon meeting in preparation for the Icasa conference. The Icasa conference, we are told, is the largest forum of a gathering of scientists and health professionals and experts, government and civil society to discuss and also talk about the fight against HIV and AIDS in Africa. At this particular point, I would hand over to you in studio, and we will continue to follow up with preparation and also towards the conference, and we'll report appropriately to you. Over to
So
you.
much.